Hello, my name is Hearn Kong and I'm majoring in new media design. Today I will talk about the lessons I learned in class throughout this year, as well as the places I visit that helped me reflect more deeply. Before I may begin the main part, I want to explain why I choose this format. At first, it was difficult to organize my thoughts because there were so many topics traditions, gender issues, historical knowledge, and personal reflections. After thinking for a long time, I finally found a solution. So, what was the solution? It was revisiting places connected to what we learned in class and experiencing them again on my own. So now I arrive at Taron. It's very nice, isn't it? There's a red gate and there's a palace behind over me, and I think it's very nice place to visit anytime, like my professor said. The first place I visited was Terung, where Queen Munjong's tomb is located. I actually visited this place 3 times this year. The first time was during a trip for another class. The second time was during Professor Davis' field trip. The last time I went alone. I think it is like an Inyan that we class in said because I visited it again. Maybe I had a connection with this place even before this life. Even though it was my first visit, the place felt the same, quiet, peaceful, and meaningful. It remained the space that encouraged reflection, just as we experienced during the field trip. This time, however, I brought something special with me. What was it? A bottle and a small dog. This object represents the idea of the dog in the bottle, known as Hadu, which we discussed in class. Professor teacher said putting the dog into the bottle is easy, but taking out again is very difficult. During the group discussions, we talked about the different meaning of Hadu. Our conclusion was that the bottle represents noise, tensions, and international conflict, while the dog represents our mind and our problems. For me, this idea explains how life sometimes feels uncomfortable or confusing, and how the mind tries to find a way out. Let me share some examples that related to this topic. For example, issues like gender problems, cultural appropriations, cultural loneliness represented by the characters Nora and Hassan in past lives. Mother experiencing conflict between her parents because she could not express her feelings in the movie Kim's Convenience. All of these stories show how the mind struggles to exist under invisible pressure, just like the dog is not getting outside in the bottle. And I also believe Terong is meaningful for other reasons. I remember that it was designed to ensure the well-being of the nations during the Joseon dynasty from start to the end. What we can see through elements such as the Red Gate, Hongsalmun, and the offering for ancestral rituals. Professor Mashimoto said the culture itself is a solution to problems. So in that sense, Terran is the culture. It holds answer from the past and guidance for the future. Now let's move to the next place. Now I arrived at the Gyeongbokgung Palace, where the Joseon Dynasty started and ended. And I can see many people wearing hanbok and also foreigners wearing hanbok in here. So as this video, I went to Gyeongbokgung, where we can explore another topic. Gyeongbokgung is the very beautiful palace in Seoul, Korea. As I said, it was an important site during the Joseon dynasty from start to the end, and it shows the traditional beauty of Korea. I saw many people wearing hanbok there too. But there is a question. Is that a good thing for us? My answer is not good or not bad, so it is very complicated. I know that hanbok is not just a culture, because David Matsumoto said culture is a solution for present, but it may also act as culture, because people want to show that they are visiting a traditional place in Seoul. Then from in this perspective, this act seems positive. However, from another perspective, it may be seen a bit different. it may become cultural appropriation. When cultural elements are used without a deep understanding or their meaning or history, and only for decoration or entertainment. From this view, you might ask this: do they really understand why hanbok is worn here? Or do they wear it only because they believe it is something to wear in Seoul for just travel or some fun? With these many thoughts, I feel very complicated when I see these scenes. Wearing hanbok could help promote Korea's image to the world, but at the same time, it could become cultural appropriation if the meaning of hanbok continues to be forgotten. Through this process, I realized that learning does not only come from books or lectures. It also comes from experiencing places, reflecting on them, and connecting those experiences what we learn. Visiting these meaningful places helped me understand our lessons in a deeper and more personal way. It was a valuable journey not as a student, but also as an individual like us. Thank you for watching my video and have a good day.